Let me tell you a story. This is the story of a world without any internet, without any computers, without any phones. Does this life seem impossible for you? Well, this is what life without electricity would look like. Every single object around you is made up of tiny little particles, so small you cannot see them with your own eyes, called atoms. Atoms are made up of two things: a nucleus that is positively charged and electrons that are negatively charged. Positive charges and negative charges will always attract each other. In some atoms, like helium for example, this attractive force is very strong, but in other atoms, especially metals like copper, one of the electrons is so weakly attracted to the nucleus that any tiny force will break them apart. One interesting property of materials that have this free electron is that if you push an electron at one end of the wire, then that force will transmit to every single electron inside that material until it reaches the other end of the wire. This force that pushes the electrons is what we call voltage, or electromotive force, and this name makes sense. It's a force that moves electrons. This force can have many sources, such as batteries, solar panels, or big massive hydroelectric dams. This force that pushes electrons through a wire is very similar to the force that pushes water through a tube. This force comes from a pump. The electromotive force comes from a battery. And just like with water, we can count how much water is flowing through a tube during a period of time. We can do the exact same with electricity. We can count how many electrons are flowing through a wire every second. This is what we call electrical current. And finally we have resistance. Just like if you have a very narrow hole, water will have a lot of difficulty to move through it. If you have a very narrow wire, electricity will find difficulty to go through it. The material also affects resistance. A copper wire will let electricity flow through much more easily than, for example, ceramic or carbon. Thank you all for watching. I hope you understood, and have a nice day.